Welcome back. You're watching Ian King Live. Now, earlier on the programme, we heard how HMV is reopening stores with new performance spaces. Overall, though, Britain is losing music venues. A third have gone in the last decade, including some iconic venues such as the Harley in Sheffield, the Maze in Nottingham and the Victoria Inn in Derby. A report out today by Legal & General suggests that property developers and local authorities need to prioritise music venues when designing regeneration schemes, particularly because the music sector contributes more than £1 billion annually to the economy. Well, Eleanor Jukes, who is Senior Investment Manager at Legal & General, joins me now. Good to have you on the programme.
Thank you very much.
It's incredible, isn't it, the rate at which music venues across the UK are closing. What's it down to, do you think?
I think it's a number of factors. Part of it is when people are thinking more about commercial concerns when they're designing schemes and maybe just might not be aware of the value that music and cultural occupations have to a scheme, but it's really misaligned with what people are doing in their spare time. And if you think about some of the structural shifts that we've seen in spending patterns, people are going to live gigs, they're going to those experiences, they like sort of spending time in places, but we're seeing alongside this that closure in venues that you alluded to earlier on. So our report is really a call to arms to the industry to recognise the value and importance of music and culture in our economy, in our society, and to do something about it.
Which chimes very well with what we're talking about with the new CEO of HMV, who's creating gig spaces within stores because it's a way of kind of creating new talent and also helping the community. So why is it so important, do you think, for the big property developers to plan in culture, and why are they not doing that right now?
I mean, what a great news story that HMV are back on the high street. And Doug made a really good point in his section that the British high streets really stand out around the world as really interesting, innovative, creative spaces. And alongside in the UK, we've also got a really strong history of music and culture. So it's really down to the property industry, to the owners and developers, and to the planners and the local councils to really make sure that we pull all of those strings together to make our high streets and our towns creative places to be.
But they would say they're juggling with lots of other priorities: good housing, great schools, great transport, and the likes of a music gig, unfortunately, just goes further down the list of things to do.
One of the things that we really believe at Legal & General is about creating great places to live, work and play. So of course housing and jobs are important, but also we want to make sure that music and culture are prioritised at the same level as those other concerns.
And I'm glad you mentioned your company, because you are one of the biggest giants when it comes to property planning. What are you doing about it? Because you've got some sway.
We have 22 billion invested across the UK in our urban environments. It's a big chunk of change. So one of the things that we're doing is looking at our schemes, what works, and having a constant dialogue with the people that use our urban environments to make sure that we understand what they want, and then we can lead the rest of the market and really galvanise a response across the different property owners to make sure that we have that cultural infrastructure embedded from day one. It's about being proactive rather than reactive in what we do with our cultural spaces.
And do you enjoy live music?
Absolutely, yes. I'm one of those people that kind of goes to gigs rather than buys CDs, which is good for some retailers and not for others.
Eleanor, great to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thank
You've been watching Ian King Live. Head